Hello, hello. Today we are back with another match of the YMCA Cameo Friendship Tournament. And this match here is only a 2 vs 2. We have T-Kommissar and SBHBS versus 33GG and NFC Shibidoki. I think SBHBS is here on the right side top and T-Kommissar is on the bottom. 3GGG is on the lower left and NFC Shibidoki is on the top left. This is the team of 3GGG, and I think this is a replacement player here who is there for the other guys. I think both teams have quite big trouble getting their matches played, so they need replacement players to actually be able to play their matches. I'm happy that the match is finally happening here. There's an early push from Shibidoki on the left side. But I think the Chinese player, SBHBS, he has the infantry general, is well prepared. He's already getting infantry out. He has a Gatling tower. I don't think this army can do much harm here. Maybe the harvester truck is in danger, but we will see. I think he needs more than like 3 harvesters, not very much. There is a number 4 coming to support the economy, and cheers everyone who's watching. Oh wait, let's do some cheap advertisement for German beer. Here we go. The bottom is quite reluctant. No army build up, just a few buggies. I guess the buggies will come soon and push a service depot up to the front. I don't know why you do that. Losing a service depot can be dangerous as it takes away your ability to get a new MCV if your first or only MCV is sniped by some aircraft or something like that. Now we see some rocket bikes, why not? Here we have 4 big harvesters. We have only 2 harvesters for yellow. Shibidoki, it should be more. I think the economy might not be that nice with only 4 harvesters. But we will see what happens in this game. So both sides are just ramping a few units on their main ore field to the front. Here is a sub pen, so we might see some maybe nuke subs, maybe some other dangerous ships. We will see. So the first fight is imminent here. I think Shibidoki has quite a good army with good composition. Also some rocket mercenaries against these battle masters here. That's not too bad. And here's only red guards, only anti-infantry. Still, they would be quite good at just mopping up these infantry units. So if there's a coordinated push by the Chinese players, he might have a chance. The battle masters have succeeded taking out 2 battle tanks. That's, I think, quite a good start here. Let's see what else is coming. On the bottom there is a commando cyborg and he is about to take out a harvester. But the rockets are churning in and take out the no? The hits are missed. Okay, so it's intense fighting here already in the very early game. We see a push and retreat by the Chinese player. SBHBS, I think it is. Yes, so T-Kommissar has not killed the commando cyborg, even though he would die, would still remain as like half body crawling on the ground, still able to shoot the same laser. So we will see. Oh my god, what a lucky crash landing of that airplane right in the middle of the infantry. I think all players are running out a bit of income here, so they cannot keep up their production. Yellow is missing out on harvesters and that's why his army value cannot keep up with the rest. We see some SSM multi-launcher. That's quite a late game unit with a lot of anti-PDL potential, which is not necessary here in this case. Super vulnerable against the Venoms. If the Venoms just take out the SSM multi-launchers, that would be really sad. We will see if this happens here. And there go the guys. There's 2 rocket mercenaries, but I think he could still take out a little bit of the stuff. The point defense is not enough against the rocket hail. I think in small unit numbers, the multi-launchers are not that strong. They become crazy in really big fights. But in these small fights, you won't win, I think, a lot of the matches. But still, I think it makes more sense to like combine your army of having some PDL units, some rocket launchers, and combine it. But you need to keep the pressure up. Here we have in the inner sea a battle cruiser by Chibidoki. So I think it's not too bad idea to get some ships in here, since from that pond you can do everything. See, I think your cruisers can shoot like to this area here, so I think that's pretty solid. Okay, more missiles coming in on the bottom. We have even some obelisk troopers, which are quite strong, especially with the PDL. They cannot be taken down by artillery. We don't have any anti-infantry here anyways. So I think T-Commissar is in a really dangerous situation. The Venoms can save his ass, but he need to take out the rocket troopers really fast and not shoot on anything else. But I think if he's trading like that, it might be a really hard time for him. Here there's just more build-up of army, no real exchange of fights. So the Venom is repairing, why not? There is enough time to do that. But I think he needs to add some serious stuff here. This army will not last long. It will be crushed, I think. Oh, this is quite interesting. An Aegis cruiser and a battle cruiser both together are hard to counter and hard to come by, as the battle cruisers shoot a shitload of artillery shells. The obelisk lands a shot on the harvester. That's not very fortunate here, and it's down. I think it looks really bad for T-Commissar on the lower right. The Venoms cannot really make it. Still, if he builds a bit more, he could like try take out the few rocket troopers, and then there's no more air defense on this whole army. So the Venoms are actually not a bad idea, but he cannot really turn it into an advantage. You need to commit to an all-in taking out the anti-rockets. So I think he could have just gotten a few Scorpion tanks, mob up the flame tanks, and then go for these guys here. Maybe get some PDL upgrade, but I think you don't have money for everything. The stealth tanks, I'm not so sure if they can do anything, since PDL will just take out their missiles, and that's that. So it's looking really grim here. A more build up on the top. A bit of artillery exchange. The Inferno cannons shoot in here, but cannot really succeed. Oh, Hailstorm MLRS, they are really good against these red guards. And on the bottom, I think it is over for T-Commissar. Very good fight. It was quite brave from 333GGG just to get this late game unit and hope for the best. But he did not really all in with Venoms against his mercenary rocket troopers. So now here we have point defense laser. So I think this army should be able to take out this army, since he does not have point defense laser and not really much that, but he's frightened away, and now he's going to be taken out from the bottom. Very strong hit by the Napalm MiG. I think with some more team play, with like using the Napalm bombers against the multi-launchers, they are really squishy against this stuff. He could have completely stopped the push from the multi-launchers, but I think we have a GG here. So from what I'm expecting, there's no chance for the China play to stabilize. I think it was quite reluctant. It's too passive. They should have pushed a bit more and find out where are the weaknesses and go for those. They just sit it out against long range units, and that's not going to work. So game is over here. Let's hop into this. Oh no, I'm wrong. I thought it was the infantry general, but it was actually the tank general.
Battle control.
My bad. I don't know if I said infantry general at the beginning, but if so, it was wrong.
Battle control initialized.
Okay, so let's go for the second match of this fight.
Battle control initialized.
Let's go. Okay, so the guys have picked all that gunners, but not the typical spots at the back, but rather the instant action at the center. That's something we have not seen yet. I am quite excited how this will unfold. I see. We have... It will be really tight here in this spot. I mean, you can expand to the back, but usually you're going to win the fight. I think for China it might be quite hard here, since there's not so much space and China needs more space. China must grow larger. Xinfei. Okay, this time it's the infantry general for real. The not player goes for infantry. So I think he has the same faction as before, yes. So 333 GGG is on the left. On the bottom we have NFC with France, who is already in an early fight against SBHBS, who has now taken Legion. And if he takes out that prison tower, he's in a serious push that's super dangerous. And if he takes out a harvester, I think the rush is already a big success. That is going to potentially change the outcome of the game. The Prism tank is a perfect response to this army. It's all squishy infantry. He should definitely focus down the Prism tank. And there comes a bunker. Oh my god, he lost all his insane initiative. He was such in a great position. He should either back out and take out the other harvester to totally cripple the economy, or he should have gone straight in for the Prism tank. As that Prism tank... Oh my god, on the other side we also have intense fighting. There's an attack outpost. That's totally useless since we don't need missiles against the adepts. We need some anti-infantry units. There the buggies come to the rescue and they do a hella good job, I think. They mop up this infantry that's usually not very dangerous, but for the attack outpost it is. The attack outpost could easily go for the rocket hail bikes and should take those out. But of course you can also go with a bunker helix with the mortars in it. That's quite a rare sight. Especially for early game, since these are like not very good at picking out mobile and fast units, but rather big PDL breakers with long range and a lot of projectiles. So for the early game, I would say it is a brave pick. Quite a brave move to get this stuff. But we will see how this unfolds. Against the rocket hail bikes, the mortar's not too bad, since they are really squishy and just a few mortar shells can take them out. But he needs to stay on the move and not shoot just somewhere, but rather on the units. But as they keep moving, he cannot really hit them. The mortar shells are slow, so he's being outplayed by it by picking a late game unit in the early game, whereas the rocket hail bikes are great in the early game and suck at late game. However, the howitzers of SBHBS are a great addition here. Unfortunately, the Grand Canon just picked them out. Well, what can you say? France is an insane faction. On a map where you pick these close positions, you can just like attack with the Grand Canon, build one in the front, and you're already shooting at the enemy base. So I think China is now being taken out by a few rocket hail bikes. I think other units might have worked here very well. Just get some PDL against the missiles. Get some attack outposts or assault crawler to just mop up these units, and then you have like similar stuff. A lot of rockets, less range, but more tankiness, which usually wins in a simple facing 1 versus 1 fight. Or in this case 4 versus 4 or something like that. Now there is the second Grand Canon. It does not have vision, I guess. Otherwise it would already be shooting here. So now the helixes are great to take out the Grand Canon, but he has point defense laser, so it takes some time until the batteries are depleted. But as his economy is completely out of the game, he cannot really do much anymore. He needs to sell buildings, I guess, in order to get back on the feet. He's cannot finish the harvester truck because he's building a headquarter. He should cancel the headquarter, then the truck comes out. The headquarter is not useful anyway, because more build speed on buildings is not what he needs here. He needs to get his economy back on its feet. I think that's very bad to store like 2000 cash in this headquarter. He should instantly cancel it and get another supply depot or more of the harvester trucks. However, the next push will anyway defeat him and take him out of the game, I guess. We need more Grand Canon, of course. But with a Grand Canon, you should also get some vision to the front, move some light infantry up there, and then the guys can shoot. So the mortar is okay-ish against stationary infantry, doing quite a lot of damage, but what he needs now is also tankiness, so he does not lose his last buildings, but that is too late already. The early game units have one on a map with really tight space. The force shield is not going to change anything here. So the yellow player is doing quite well with all these Grand Canons. And I think this is already GG for the team on the top and right. I don't think they can recover from this. It looks very well for the team on the left and the bottom. Also, there's no chance getting around these Grand Canons. You need a lot of PDL and artillery, then you can take it out. But in this situation, or maybe aircraft. But in this situation, there's not much you can do. I don't think these few harpies will change anything, but we'll take a look at it. So he's trying to rebuild up here. We will see if this works. Maybe he can just be silent here and SBHBS can sit it out. That's quite interesting. The harpies are actually mopping up everything because there is no air defense, but here comes the SAM side. The SAM side comes for the rescue. He should really say thank you to 333GGG. I hope he has ever said thank you once. Otherwise, we all want to know what happens when a bomb drops on his head. And the rocket hail bikes have now PDL, so they are really dangerous now. The first ones did not have it, but now we have a lot of point defense lasers. I don't think the army on the right can do anything against it. It will be a horrible slaughter fest that we will see now here. And that should be over for the team on the right and top. So that means it's 2-0 for 333GGG and NFC Chibidoki. Sad that the other players could not be here of their team, like I think who else is in this team? Protodark, I think, is a teammate, and Kicks. So I guess T-Commissar is a replacement for Protodark. No, Protodark is in a team with 333GGG. I think SBHBS is with Tin and Keno in a team. So we have some SSM launchers now also in the mix. I cannot imagine how these can save the day. He's basically just ignoring the helixes since the guys have PDL. Same would go for the missiles. The Harpy is actually the only thing that can damage the rocket bikes. In that job it would be really good. A single Harpy could kill all of them if it would just attack, but it's just flying around, chilling the day. Maybe the guys are like watching birds, I don't know. There comes a Commando Cyborg, which is an easy target for the Benji bombers. But the Benji bombers need to shoot a bit more on it. Now it's down, that was easy. Just get the Harpy on the rocket bikes and you're really good here in this situation. But oh yeah, now the Harpy is actually chasing a bit and takes out the second, third and fourth and fifth and sixth rocket bike. So he found a counter, too sad because it's too late. The base here is almost back at minute 1 level. He's almost back at the power of a starting army. But the single harvester is driving as fast as he can. Will he make it? Will he deliver a third, fourth, fifth, sixth, 100th load to bring him back onto this late game army level here? Oh my god, Bungie on the other side as well. I think the last harvesters will also be taken out. These Bungies are not upgraded from bombers, so they can also shoot aircraft, but they cannot be as strong against heavy armor as the Bungie bombers here. But in this situation, I think that's the right choice to get those guys. And he takes out a refinery. Why not? So he's still doing a really good job. SBHBS is really keeping its head above the water level. He's almost drowning, but still staying in game, fighting and struggling. Now we have 3 harvester trucks. Economy is ramping up exponentially. The Harpies are chasing down the rocket bikes. I think this could have been an interesting game. This could have been a good game and something that's like both sides could win if the guys did not pick late game stuff in a close quarters combat. Getting the Grand Canon is a good decision. Prism Tank was great. Rocket Tail Bikes great, but the Helix were not really great. SBHBS was a bit too stationary, too much holding back. The Harpies could have taken out the bikes so early. Just two Harpies and mop up the whole army, no problem. Now the multi-purpose drones come in and they will just kill the airplanes and then there's nothing left. I think it's over. You guys have to give up soon. This army is slowly getting back into the game, but it will not be sufficient. Once he's back in the game, he will still have a 2 versus 1. So now the base of SBHBS is being ground down. There's not much he can do anymore. He lost his last Harpy now. And we even have mines sitting on the radar communication center. So if it moves around, if it grows legs and starts going to the front, it will first hit the mines here and will be destroyed by the mines from France. Too bad. So this base is history, and a single helix with some mortars in it is shooting from the bottom. It's not a bad unit, but in this case it's not what you need. You cannot really go early game with that. You can do this kind of funny stuff here, of course. Take out the Conyard. He does not have a repair depot, but that's something you can do when you're already standing good and not being defeated in the next second. So he lost the Conyard, he cannot rebuild anything. That's nice and great. But this Chinese base is not going to change the outcome of the game. It's more like it's just delaying the inevitable. So more stuff is being taken out, that's a good thing. That's the only war factory, so losing it means the contribution to the game from this player is very limited. He could now go for all the power plants, but before that will happen, he will have lost the game completely. How sad. That's really cool. You can just fly around the bunker helix and it shoots on the fly. So it's not too bad overall, but it's a bit slow. He lands and gets out the mortars. What a next level move. So the mortars can still shoot even though the airplane is gone. Will this change the outcome of the game? IQ'd 500 players here. I'm not so sure. No, it did not. The game is over. And I say thank you guys for playing. It was a pleasure to watch and I'm really curious what the next game will bring. Bye bye.